Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. We have a bit of an Aussie theme today. We've got a couple of Aussies, and we don't just have Newcastle fans in Newcastle. We do have them across the world, and we encourage all Newcastle fans, no matter where you are across the globe, to pop on our channel, have a chat with us about where you feel the club are with the league table and the standings and the takeover and transfers and so on. So I'm just going to do a couple of which are a couple of Aussies, and they're going to tell you why they're a Newcastle fan and why they follow the club and so on. So Chris, you might have seen him. He does a few videos for us as well. He's on screen at the moment. So Chris, why do you follow Newcastle? Just give everybody a reminder.
Yeah, surely. Obviously, I was born in the UK, born in Durham. It was just like a crazy experience. So I was sort of hooked.
We know that feeling as well. And obviously we caught up almost a year ago to the day, isn't it, coming up? So it's flew over, hasn't it, the past 12 months?
Yeah, it was. We flew back. We were only there for 10 days, and we flew back through Singapore. And I got caught a virus or something. I was sick as a dog. 5 degrees to 40 degrees. I'm
going to pop to Liam. Liam's done a few articles for our website. So Liam, nice to put your picture to the camera.
Well, I think I'm a little bit younger than you two, especially you, Chris. I think I'm a fair bit younger than you are. I'm only 18.
Slight dick.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was your ideally. I only really got into football a couple of years ago. I'd followed international football for a long time. Obviously, I'm wearing a Socceroos jersey now. And I was absolutely captivated by the fans of Newcastle, just the way they support their team, the loyalty they had, and for the way the club was run, the way it's been performing, it was quite incredible. So they say you don't pick your team picks you, and I certainly felt that. So
we're just going to be talking about, let's get on with it, like where the club are at the moment. So, the big talk over here, and I'm sure it is over your way as well, is the takeover, which didn't actually happen. Chris, what's your thoughts on the matter at the moment? Where the club standing at the minute?
Ashley's come out with his Sky Sports, said it was a waste of time, but I don't really believe that. The last few days sanctioning some of these moves shows that, and I just think the offer that they had on the table just didn't suit his terms. So I guess from his point of view, the right, being the owner of the club, to ask what he believes is a correct amount for the club, and he can stand by that. But obviously it puts us through the meat grinder again and getting our hopes up and then getting dashed. So, I was probably vocal about this a couple of years ago, but I just feel like I want to focus energy on the team and, not complaining or what's going on. Just leave it.
Liam, do you believe anything that Mike Ashley says?
I don't disbelieve it straight away, but I definitely don't believe it straight away, if that makes sense. Like I'll take it at face value, but I'll keep digging until I can actually see something that I believe a little more.
What do you guys make of Mike Ashley from where you are over in Australia? Because over here he's hated. He's really, really hated. If you talk about Mike Ashley, the first thing Geordie will say, he'll swear he's this, he's that straight away. What's your impression of Mike Ashley from before?
It's a Cockney geezer who runs. If he was in the 80s, he'd be like Del Boy, his sports stores, and he's been shown as, you can see what he is. I mean, he likes to do a deal and he likes to the most out of it. What he's turned Newcastle into is his own sort of cash cow and sort of squeezing it dry. And you can see over the last 5 or 6 years when Pardew was, and there was no transfers sanctioned, and he just, where was the money going? So, I mean, he's just a wheeler dealer, for God's sake. That's as much as I can say for it.
Well, you just put it nicely polite there, Chris. Liam, are you hopeful that Amanda Stevie comes back with another bid before the end of the season, or do you think we'll hear more about it in the summer when the season's ended and Newcastle know where they are in the league?
I certainly think more will happen in your summer once the season's all said and done a bit.
You call it a summer.
Once it's all said and done this season, there'll be a lot more. I think with the takeover, there'll be a lot more movement. At the end of the day, Mike Ashley, you can't knock him as a businessman. He's a very shrewd businessman who just doesn't understand football.
I totally agree with that. He just totally doesn't get it. And Rangers, beware, because if he sells Newcastle, he's coming for you. Now, just talking where the club are at the moment, let's talk a couple of transfers. Chris, I'll come to you about Kennedy, and then Liam, I'm going to ask you about the couple of rumours that are going around about strikers. So, Chris, what's your initial thoughts on Kennedy?
Yeah, it's interesting. I watched the video. He's pretty versatile, and I think he's playing wing back and he's playing left back for Chelsea a lot. Packages, he can defend. You know what I mean? He's not just maybe like an Atsu who can go forward, but you don't get much off him. So yeah, I think he has some skill, in whatever position he puts him. I think, and maybe a more attacking role, but he can defend. So
what do you make of Roland Aarons? Is that the end of him for this season?
I don't understand. I guess Aarons, I think he's a bit like the Mitrovic situation where he just doesn't give him a chance. Like I would have given the lad a chance. Likes and dislikes, I think it's just fallen out of favour because of at the end of the season. Yeah, I don't know, probably loan him out or get rid of him. I think his time's run.
Yeah, I mean he's still young, isn't he? But right. Right, Liam, I'm going to come across you. Now, there is speculation that Newcastle could potentially break their transfer record, which has stood for like how many years? God knows. Since Michael
I was
Owen.
6.
Was it? When was
I
it?
was 6.
You were 6. Wow.
If it was 2005, I was 6.
Wow. And Chris was still in his late 20s by then, were you, Chris?
26. Sorry, I remember that day because the stadium was packed out.
Liam, what's your thoughts on like potentially rumours are that we could break our transfer records? There's rumours that it's Slimani from Leicester. There's rumours that it's Jorgensen from Feyenoord, who we don't know much about.
I've got some numbers here. I was writing some stuff down a couple of hours ago. I was actually...
Fire away. What you got for us?
Well, first of all, about us and why strikers clear our number one priority. We're 11th in the Premier League for chances created, only behind the top 6, Southampton, Palace, Watford and Bournemouth. But other than that, we create more chances than almost half the Premier League, and yet our goals are the main reason we're struggling. So
how do you blame that on? The midfield? The strikers?
The service isn't good enough, and our strikers don't put themselves in the right position to put it away. Hosselu works incredibly hard, but he actually tires himself out and doesn't attack because he's worked too hard defending. And Dwight Gale's a good finisher. He gets himself in shocking positions.
But what about these strikers that are linked to us? Do you think they'll bring anything added to us, like Slimani? And there's talk of Daniel Sturridge, there's Jorgensen, there's Dembele from Celtic. There's all these names. Anybody like to see come in?
I'd like to see Jorgensen come in, actually, looking at some of his numbers. I know it's the Dutch league and all things considered, but 21 goals and 11 assists in 32 games last season. That was a direct score involvement every 84 minutes. I wouldn't mind that at Newcastle. Even if we halve that, it's still a goal and an assist every 2 games. That probably keeps us up with how even the bottom 10 is.
I know it's the area. Well, Ruud van Nistelrooy came from there. Dennis Bergkamp came from. All the big name Dutch players had to start. I know he's Danish, but
Robin van Persie,
Luke de Jong,
and he's just gone back there as well. So that actually creates an opening.
Yeah, don't mention the De Jong brothers for God's sake, Chris. Right, okay. It's so tight in that Premier League table right now. I think there's only 6 points from like 11th to 20th. Swansea winning on Monday night didn't help matters. So the league table is really tight. What's going to happen in this league table? I know we've got Chelsea in the FA Cup. We're not going to win the FA Cup, of course not, I don't feel. But what's going to happen there? Need more bodies in? Is it going to be like that all season? It's so tight, anyone can go down?
That bottom 10 has been super tight. And I said at the start of the season when you're doing predictions, I mean, stay up on goal difference, I don't really care. I mean, I think there's a lot of destabilisation going around, just the way it is. And look at Watford, they just sacked their coach. I mean, why the hell did they sack him? They're dropping like a stone. We got Burnley. So who we got after Burnley? I haven't.
Man United, I think, are on the horizon, aren't they? I'm sure, man.
Oh, we got Matt in Liverpool as well, haven't we? So, I mean, it's not going to be a Burnley crucial match. I think I mentioned they're sort of dropping like a stone. So, I mean, it's going to be up and down all season. You know, if we got, a striker, preferably, I think Gamiero, they were after him a couple of years ago. I don't know if he's gone off the boil. I think he's out of favour at Atletico. So, what can we expect? I mean, does that get you in real terms? I mean, talking about getting a championship striker behind that track, I mean, whatever happens with us, it's not really what happens to everyone else. It's not even relevant to us. I mean, fingers crossed. And I think I'm positive. I think we'll stay up. And I said that in a couple of videos ago.
Well, I think we'll stay up as well. Liam, there's been a lot of sackings in that bottom. If you look at that league table, I don't know if you've got it in front of you or not, but look at it all there. You're on proper Statman on. You're on form now. Yeah. If you look at Statman Liam, if we look at the bottom of that table, there's been a lot of sackings. Rafa Benitez obviously clearly isn't going to get sacked because he's loved here by the potential owners coming in, by the fans, etc., etc.
And also much better credentialed manager than the others.
Yeah, of course, we've got like a world-class manager. We've seen other clubs have a bounce around us. Is that worrying, that these are keep chopping and changing, seeing a little bit of a bounce, whereas Newcastle are quite static, stale all the way through? Or are you worried or are you not worried?
The reality is most of those bounces have a tendency to be flash in the pans. If you look in the history, Premier League seasons, more often than not, clubs near the bottom will sack a manager, have a resurgence because they're trying to prove themselves, and then realise we're just not very good. Back we go.
Interesting.
That's generally what happens. That's what I've observed.
We're going to touch upon, final subject for you two, is the game coming up this weekend. Chelsea on Sunday, the FA Cup. I know it's not the league, I know it's not priority because staying up is. How do you see this going? Do you think Chelsea, I'm going to come to you, Chris, do you think Chelsea will rotate? Do you think they'll take the FA Cup seriously? Do you think Rafa will take it seriously?
Yeah, I think Chelsea more seriously because I think they're obviously out of the running in the league, still in the League Cup, or today, your time, right?
Yeah, today.
Powerful squad. I mean, they're probably a bit light on compared with the other top 4 or 5, but I think Norwich ran them close, didn't they, in that replay?
Very close, very penalties.
So who knows? I mean, and Kennedy can't play because he's cup tied. So I think Rafa's probably going to tinker around. I like what he's done. Like if you look at the December block of games, I think you mentioned that in the intro, away games, and we've drawn a couple of home games. I mean, he's put Atsu in the number 10. You know, he's going to have to tinker around. Hopefully he won't play that back five like he did on and off. So he has to go for it, right? You're not trying to consolidate anything. You just got to go.
Do you think, like, because as Chris has mentioned, this is a one-off, do you think we should attack them and just go for it? Because you can get beat 5-0, go out the cup, or you can get beat 1-0, go out the cup. Do you reckon we should go for it?
I don't think we've got anything to lose. I think Chelsea will rotate because they've got their priorities. They've got a cup game tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just building on it, and they've got then Leeds the league. I should say. They may be out of the title race, but they're only 5 points clear in the top four. So that's going to be really important to them because they're looking to balance their books and still attract players. So they need that Champions League revenue. So they're going to want to make sure they're in that top four.
Liam, give me a score prediction for Sunday.
I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea.
Chris?
I think we'll score, but I think we'll concede a lot.
Chris? Chelsea.
I think we'll get beat, but I want to go out with a bang. I'll be entertained with a 4-3. Very much, guys, for coming on. Something a little bit different rather than getting all the Geordies on. Appreciate it as well. I know it's late for you guys. It's like hitting 11, 12 o'clock and over your way. Thank you very much. Well, that's it then. Thank you very much for watching Newcastle Fans TV, and we shall see you later.